Hi, hope you're doing well today. So I'm just gonna do a really quick video on Daniel's 70 week, just make it accessible to materials, if you will. So it's interesting. Well, first of all, if you go to the description below, there should be a link to this PDF you see here. It's off my Google Drive. You're more than welcome to download it. If you just go up to the right, you can download it. So it's interesting how people different takes on 70 weeks. How some put a gap in there, some take the last day of the 70th week. They tie it to the consummation of the old covenant order. I just discovered that recently that people actually take that position. Um, a few guys actually that are in the same camp that I am in the Predators camp, they actually take that position, and yeah, I'm a little taken back by that. I hope someday they re-look at it a little bit. But anyway, I take position there's a continuation of it all, but it results in a lot of things happening later on. The consummation of the old covenant order occurs after the 70th week. It's a result due to the 70th week. Without that 70th week, there would be no consummation that takes place later on. Okay, roughly 40 years later. So, but one thing I want to point out. Well, first of all, this PDF here is a hub, so you have all kinds of links to other PDFs and in those PDFs there might be links to videos and whatnot. So there's just a ton of information right here. Alrighty, but one thing I want to point out. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command. Okay, so that's the beginning of the 70th week. It's the going forth the command. And so how do we get to 458 BC in the Julian calendar? If we go to this link right here, which you have access to, you click on this. This is a really good art. It's lengthy, but they go over step by step how to get to the first year of Daniel's 70th week. Alrighty, so you have access to that. So yeah, very well done. But yeah, going back to how some people take the consummation, referring that to the very end of the 70 weeks. Let's just go into here. So this is from a person that takes that position. And he said the prophecy deals with the literal 490-year period, which I do too. Most people do. Using the Jewish calendar or Hebraic calendar, same thing. From the Babylonian army destroying the first temple in 420 BC. I have no idea what you're talking about there. The first temple that I'm aware of, anyway. If I can get to it here, just bear with me. The first temple is Solomon's temple, and that was destroyed around 587, 586 BC, and here's an article on that if you want to read it. So how do you get 420 BC out of this? And I don't know what temple you're talking about, because I do a search 420 BC, temple destroyed. I don't come up with anything. So it doesn't fit what's going on here. So it's just strange how you guys are so intelligent, just I don't know how they're coming up with this. It just there's nothing to back up what they're saying. So anyway, going back to that image, let's see here if I can get to it. There we go. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, anoint the most holy place. The word place is actually not in the Hebrew. All right, so so he's taking that position that's actually in the Hebrew. It's a little misleading, but yeah. So seal, vision, and prophet. So he's referring to a fulfillment of all things. Well, the problem with that, the fulfillment of all Old Testament prophecy did not occur until 73 AD. All right, let's go to. Well, let me try to explain to you where I'm coming from. That you're probably like, what? Hold on here. So here's a timeline where destruction of the temple. So here's 70 AD. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Alrighty. So you here's 70 AD, April 70 AD through August 70 AD. There's that 5-month period where the flood came through and it just utter destruction. This green line represents where they fled. The Jews who came to Christ, they fled. And so happened Josephus came back just in time. Okay. So what am I talking about past 70 AD? There's that 1268 period, 1,260 days, where they were protected. Alrighty. And that's what Revelation 12 is about. You know, they fled into the wilderness. That's this green line right here. Okay, this is Revelation 12:6. And the woman, this is the bride of Christ. This is the Jews who came to Christ. Okay, they're from our perspective, they're our mother. All right. We're the offspring. And the woman fled into the wilderness. So that's this green line here, where she had place prepared of God that they should feed her there 1,260 days. Okay, and that's parallel to Revelation 11:3 as well, and then it's similar to time and a half Daniel, and it's also described in 12:14 the same way. So this is the 1260 days right here, where she fled, and the date range for that anywhere from March 20th, 70 AD to April 10th, 70 AD. So it's sometime within that time frame where this took place. I'm not able to get the exact day, but that's the best I can come up with. So sometime in that time frame, they fled, and then the 1260 day began. Alrighty, and it wasn't until the date range of September 9th to September 23rd of 73 AD where finally that was wrapped up. Now they're safe, they're free to go, they're free. Alrighty, and so if they would have fled and then come back or not hide or whatever, they were at risk getting killed. Alrighty. So what happened in that 1260 days where finally, this is over? Well, one theory that I have is the Masada. The Roman army regained control back from the Jewish. Now the Jewish people denied Christ in the flesh. Okay, not the Jews who came to Christ. There's a difference. They regained control of it. Now, why? What does that have to do anything? Well, if you go back to 66 AD, let's go back to 66 AD, alrighty. The Jew took over the Masada, alrighty. This is according to Josephus' words, 2:17:2. This is one of the things that led up to Nero, Caesar, declaring war in Jerusalem. It was not the final straw, though. Based on what Josephus wrote, it was the fact that the Jews stopped the cessation of sacrifices. That was the final straw. Alrighty, and then I also believe what led up to that, the Jews were not paying their taxes to Caesar. I used to have a source on that, and now I can't find it. And so if you have a source on Jews stop paying taxes to Nero, Caesar, love to provide. If you could provide that source, it would be great. But anyway, the point is, the Jew took over Masada. That's one of the reasons that the Jews were, or the Rome was ticked off. All right, they're willing, or they had this hatred towards the Jewish people. Alrighty, so it wasn't until Rome regained control of that they got it back. Now there's nothing. You know, they got it back now. They destroyed the temple, destroyed Jerusalem. In their mind, destroyed the last of the Jews here. While the Jews who came to Christ were hiding. Okay, and now after this, they were free to go. Alrighty, so that was the end of all prophecy. Okay, that's when all prophecy was fulfilled. Alrighty. The 70 AD is the consummation of the things of the old covenant order, okay? But that's not the fulfillment of all prophecy. That's the dilemma they're in. And so the problem with this view of taking the consummation and making that into the end of the 70 weeks, what was I going to say? What's really happening is, here, let's go over here. what really happening is that 70 weeks occurred and results in the consummation later on. Alrighty, the 70 week itself is not a consummation in of itself. Is not the consummation of the entire Old Covenant order. It produces the results of a consummation of the Old Covenant order eventually, because you have to start the new covenant first. And that's what the 70 weeks is all about. The 70th week anyway. All right. So I hope these guys just rethink it. They're sharp minds. I'd be delighted if they changed their view on this and recognize, wait a minute, the beginning here, according to Daniel 9:25, was going forth with the command, not destruction of the temple. It doesn't. Daniel 9:25 not saying anything about destruction of the temple. So I'm just blown away how some people can be grossly in error. How did that come about? But anyway, so the point of this video is that you have access to all the material. So this here, again, gives you the information needed to know the first year took place. And then if you go to right, we need to know the date of crucifixion, which is the midpoint of the 70th week. Jesus making the covenant with many occurred on the same day in the Hebraic calendar as his crucifixion. Alrighty, so as you click on this here, it'll bring you to this video here, where in this video I give you access to all these resources, and there's some other videos from other ministries that really help with this, where they tie the Old Testament with the Hebraic calendar to Jesus' crucifixion, as well as the gospel and all four gospels, and get the perspective of, from all four gospels, make it all work together. Okay, they do a phenomenal job. So I encourage you to go there to find out exactly when his crucifixion, and it all comes together perfectly. Alrighty. So anyway, as far as the dating goes, alrighty. So it's available to you, and I'm a little bit tired. I apologize, but anyway, I have spent thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours in this, and I'm one that I recognize when I compare myself to other Christians, I have a more natural inclination towards hermeneutics. So I was naturally able to go a lot farther, in a short amount of time. So, not trying to self-assault myself or anything like that. Please don't accuse me of that. But anyway, so this is available to you. There's a good source here to get the first year, and then there's a good source here to get the midpoint of the 70th week, and then it all ties together. I'll tie it down, and history flows beautifully with it. So again, I encourage you to watch that video. It flows together with the Olivet Discourse and a lot of the history that happened in the first century. Alrighty, so anyway, enjoy, and hope you have an awesome day. Thank you.